or intimacy between two people is never just about physical closeness, it is deeply tied to mutual respect and emotional awareness. Or when a man approaches intimacy with respect for his partner, he acknowledges her as an equal human being with emotions, desires, and boundaries that must be honored. Or this perspective transforms intimacy into a shared experience rather than a selfish pursuit. Or respect is the first step toward creating a space where both partners feel secure enough to express their needs openly. Therefore, any relationship that prioritizes respect builds a stronger and healthier foundation for intimacy. Consent is not simply the act of asking for permission in a moment, it is a continuous dialogue built on trust. A man who prioritizes a woman's consent does not assume what she wants, but listens actively to her words, tone, and body language. Or he understands that her boundaries can change at any time and adjusts with care and patience. This respect for evolving consent demonstrates maturity and responsibility. Or ultimately, when consent is treated as an ongoing conversation, intimacy becomes more meaningful and deeply satisfying for both partners. Or many relationships struggle because one partner takes the other's comfort for granted, assuming closeness without truly checking in. Or this disregard can cause emotional harm and create distance even in otherwise committed relationships. When a man consistently respects his partner's wishes, however, he builds a foundation of trust that strengthens their bond. Respect allows his partner to feel safe and appreciated rather than pressured or objectified. Or such a dynamic ensures that intimacy is freely chosen, joyful, and authentic. In this way, respect guarantees the longevity of true connection. Or respect also means acknowledging that women have historically been denied agency over their own bodies and choices. Or a man who prioritizes respect and consent becomes a partner in dismantling these cultural barriers by actively valuing his partner's voice. Or he challenges harmful traditions that silence women's needs. His behavior signals that her comfort matters more than ego or control. Or this attitude not only strengthens personal relationships but also contributes to broader change in how society views female autonomy. Thus, respect at the personal level ripples outward into cultural transformation. In addition, respect within intimacy cultivates emotional closeness that surpasses physical pleasure. Or when a woman feels truly heard and valued, she becomes more open, vulnerable, and connected to her partner. This openness enriches the experience for both individuals, turning intimacy into an exchange of trust and affection rather than a mechanical act. Or a man who respects his partner's boundaries recognizes that her comfort enhances their connection. This mutual consideration builds a cycle of trust and joy. Therefore, respect is not merely a protective measure, but also an amplifier of genuine closeness. Respect and consent also empower women to explore their own desires without fear of judgment. When a man fosters an environment where his partner feels safe, she is more likely to share what she enjoys and what makes her feel fulfilled. This communication enriches intimacy and removes the guesswork, allowing both partners to experience deeper satisfaction. Encouraging this openness is an act of respect that proves he values her happiness as much as his own. In this way, consent and respect do not restrict intimacy, but instead liberate it. It is important to recognize that respect is not passive, but an active practice. A man who truly respects his partner pays attention, remembers what matters to her, and adapts his actions accordingly. This attentiveness reassures her that her well-being is at the heart of his intentions. Respect becomes evident not only in private moments, but also in daily interactions, creating consistency between intimacy and everyday life. When his words and actions align, trust flourishes. Therefore, respect requires effort and intentionality, which ultimately strengthen every aspect of a relationship. A lack of respect and consent, by contrast, can destroy relationships regardless of physical attraction or emotional history. Disregarding a woman's boundaries erodes trust, leaving lasting emotional scars that can be difficult to heal. In contrast, when a man prioritizes respect, he builds resilience into the relationship, even during conflicts or challenges, the underlying trust created by respect makes reconciliation possible. It is this consistency that ensures the relationship grows rather than crumbles. Respect, then, is the safeguard that prevents intimacy from becoming harmful. Ultimately, respect and consent represent love in its truest form. They demonstrate that a man values his partner not only as someone who fulfills his desires, but as a person deserving of dignity, autonomy, and care. This attitude transforms intimacy from a selfish act into an act of shared connection, where both individuals feel equally important. A man who lives by respect and consent creates a relationship that is emotionally rich, physically satisfying, satisfying and enduring. In conclusion, or respect is not an optional addition but the very essence of meaningful intimacy. Physical closeness without emotional connection often feels incomplete and unsatisfying. Or when two people connect emotionally, they build trust and understanding that carries over into intimacy. A man who invests in knowing his partner's thoughts, feelings, and experiences deepens their bond beyond the surface level. This emotional depth makes her feel cherished and safe, which allows physical closeness to be more meaningful. Or without such connection, intimacy can feel mechanical or one-sided. Therefore, emotional connection is the essential bridge that transforms physical acts into moments of true closeness and mutual fulfillment for both partners. Or emotional intimacy begins with communication. When a man listens actively and responds with empathy, he shows that his partner's voice matters. Or this attentiveness fosters security, allowing her to be open without fear of judgment. Or such openness paves the way for greater physical intimacy because she feels understood and valued as a whole person. Without communication, or misunderstandings and emotional distance creep in, weakening both the relationship and the physical bond. Thus, consistent communication creates a strong emotional foundation that enhances the quality and satisfaction of physical intimacy for both individuals involved. Or trust is another crucial factor that links emotional and physical intimacy. When a woman feels confident that her partner will honor her feelings, or she is more willing to engage openly in closeness, trust removes fear and hesitation, creating a space where intimacy thrives naturally. Or a man who proves himself dependable and supportive builds this trust over time. This trust then translates into physical moments filled with authenticity rather than pretense. Or ultimately, trust solidifies emotional intimacy and makes physical connection richer. Therefore, trust and emotional security elevate intimacy to a more profound and rewarding level. Emotional connection also allows partners to anticipate each other's needs. Or a man who is tuned in to his partner's emotions often senses what she desires or when she needs comfort, even without words. Or this sensitivity demonstrates care that enhances intimacy by making her feel understood on a deeper level. Anticipating needs builds comfort and excitement, or ensuring intimacy feels personal rather than routine. A relationship where both partners feel deeply seen creates more joy and physical closeness. Therefore, emotional awareness transforms intimacy from simple physical interaction into a meaningful exchange of love and understanding. Or mutual vulnerability strengthens emotional connection and deepens intimacy. When a man shares his fears, hopes, and insecurities, or he creates a safe space for his partner to do the same. This openness dismantles walls and fosters a closeness that makes physical intimacy more genuine. Or vulnerability removes pretenses and makes every intimate moment feel grounded in authenticity. By sharing openly, partners develop compassion for one another, or making their physical connection a natural extension of their emotional bond. Therefore, vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that turns intimacy into a deeply personal and heartfelt experience. When emotional connection is prioritized, conflicts become opportunities for growth rather than threats. Disagreements are inevitable, but a couple grounded in strong emotional ties approaches them with patience and care. Resolving issues calmly ensures that resentment does not spill into the physical dimension of the relationship. A man who listens during conflict shows that he values harmony more than ego. This strengthens trust and restores emotional closeness, which in turn keeps intimacy alive. Therefore, emotional connection serves as a stabilizing force that preserves both the emotional and physical health of a relationship. Emotional connection also contributes to long-term satisfaction in relationships. Initial passion may fade with time, but bonds built on shared emotions, memories, and mutual understanding remain strong. A man who nurtures emotional intimacy ensures that physical closeness does not decline, but evolves into something deeper. The couple learns to appreciate one another in richer ways, finding joy in both small gestures and intimate moments. This ongoing effort keeps relationships resilient and fulfilling. Therefore, prioritizing emotional connection is the key to sustaining intimacy through the challenges and changes of life. Furthermore, emotional intimacy makes physical closeness more pleasurable by reducing performance pressure. When both partners feel emotionally secure, or intimacy is about connection rather than perfection, this environment encourages exploration and openness without fear of criticism. Or a man who reassures his partner through emotional support gives her confidence to fully embrace intimacy. As a result, both partners find joy in the experience, or not just the outcome. This shift from performance to connection increases satisfaction. Therefore, or emotional security enhances intimacy by allowing it to flourish without unnecessary stress or expectations. In conclusion, or emotional connection is the foundation that elevates physical intimacy from an act into a profound experience. It builds trust, fosters communication, encourages vulnerability, and sustains long-term satisfaction. A man who invests in his partner's emotions demonstrates that her heart matters as much as her body, which makes intimacy richer and more rewarding. Without emotional depth, physical closeness risks feeling empty, but with it, every moment becomes meaningful. Therefore, emotional connection not only enhances intimacy, but also ensures that relationships remain strong, fulfilling, and enduring throughout life's journey together. For centuries, conversations about female pleasure have been silenced, ignored, or dismissed as unnecessary. Many cultures and traditions have placed emphasis solely on male satisfaction, leaving women's experiences overlooked. This imbalance not only creates dissatisfaction, but also reinforces harmful stereotypes about gender roles. A man who chooses to break this silence challenges outdated views and gives importance to his partner's well-being. By acknowledging and discussing female pleasure openly, he affirms that intimacy should be mutual. Therefore, breaking taboos around female pleasure is a step toward equality and genuine connection in modern relationships. Silence about female pleasure often stems from cultural shame and misinformation. Women are sometimes taught that expressing or even acknowledging their desires is inappropriate, which can prevent them from enjoying intimacy fully. A man who values his partner's happiness helps dismantle these limiting beliefs by encouraging honest conversation, he normalizes the idea that women deserve satisfaction and that intimacy is incomplete without it. By doing so, he reduces guilt and empowers his partner to embrace her needs. Therefore, breaking the taboo of silence frees both partners to enjoy a more balanced and fulfilling intimacy. Education plays a critical role in challenging taboos. Many societies fail to provide accurate information about women's bodies and desires, leaving individuals misinformed. A man who takes the time to learn about female anatomy and pleasure demonstrates respect and commitment to shared satisfaction. This effort shows that intimacy is not just instinctive, but also requires knowledge and understanding. When men take responsibility for learning, they help correct the misinformation that fuels taboos. Therefore, breaking barriers through education not only benefits relationships, but also promotes healthier views about intimacy across generations. Conversations about female pleasure should be seen as acts of empowerment rather than embarrassment. When a man openly discusses intimacy with his partner, he communicates that her experiences matter, such dialogue reduces stigma and builds comfort between partners. Instead of leaving her to remain silent, he encourages her to share what feels right and what does not. This openness enhances trust and ensures that intimacy evolves in a positive direction. Therefore, initiating honest conversations about female pleasure empowers women and deepens the bond between partners through mutual respect and understanding. Breaking taboos also challenges the harmful double standards that exist around sexuality. While male pleasure is often celebrated or normalized, female desire is frequently policed or judged. A man who acknowledges and supports his partner's pleasure rejects these unfair standards. By treating her needs with the same importance as his own, he sends a message that equality matters in every aspect of the relationship. This fairness not only enriches intimacy, but also strengthens respect between partners. Therefore, rejecting double standards is essential for creating relationships rooted in balance, fairness, and true partnership. Taboos around female pleasure also prevent many women from communicating dissatisfaction, which leaves relationships unbalanced. A man who encourages feedback and listens without defensiveness breaks this cycle. He shows that her feelings and experiences are valid and deserve attention. This attitude motivates her to speak freely, which improves intimacy and prevents resentment from growing. Breaking silence creates a healthier partnership where both individuals feel valued. Therefore, when men encourage honest dialogue about female satisfaction, they dismantle harmful taboos and create relationships built on trust and equality. Addressing taboos requires patience and sensitivity, as many women carry internalized shame from upbringing or social conditioning. A supportive partner who approaches these conversations gently builds confidence and safety, or by respecting her pace and encouraging gradual openness, he helps replace fear with comfort. Over time, this patience fosters deeper intimacy and healing. Or breaking taboos is not about rushing or pressuring, but about creating space where she feels accepted. Therefore, or sensitivity and patience are crucial in helping women overcome societal barriers and embrace their right to joy and intimacy. Or breaking taboos also has broader social implications beyond individual relationships. When men and women openly acknowledge female pleasure, or they challenge stereotypes that harm future generations, this openness encourages healthier education for young people and builds a culture of respect. Or a man who normalizes these discussions at home contributes to wider cultural change, inspiring others to follow. Or intimacy thus becomes a platform for social progress as well as personal satisfaction. Therefore, or challenging taboos at the personal level sparks meaningful transformation that reshapes how society views intimacy and gender equality. In conclusion, or breaking taboos around female pleasure is essential for creating relationships rooted in respect, equality, and fulfillment. It challenges outdated beliefs, or empowers women to embrace their desires and dismantles harmful double standards. Or a man who prioritizes his partner's satisfaction contributes not only to their bond but also to broader social progress. By addressing silence, shame, and misinformation with education and empathy, he helps redefine intimacy for the better. Therefore, or breaking these taboos is not merely personal but a collective step toward healthier, more equal, and more loving relationships everywhere. Or a relationship where both partners feel satisfied creates an environment of harmony and balance. When a man prioritizes his partner's fulfillment alongside his own, or he demonstrates that love is not self-centered but shared, this balance helps both individuals feel valued and appreciated, reducing insecurities or resentment. Or intimacy becomes a shared journey rather than a one-sided act, which makes the bond stronger over time. By ensuring mutual satisfaction, couples reinforce loyalty and connection. Or therefore, focusing on each other's needs equally is the key to cultivating healthy, enduring, and fulfilling relationships built on trust and care. Or mutual satisfaction also improves communication within a relationship. When partners discuss their needs openly, they build understanding that strengthens emotional closeness. Or a man who listens and responds to his partner's desires encourages her to share more freely. This cycle of openness builds comfort and trust, or which translates into a stronger bond during intimate moments. By communicating honestly, both partners grow more confident and secure in expressing themselves. Therefore, or mutual satisfaction is not only about physical closeness, but also about building a safe space for honest dialogue that deepens the emotional core of relationships. Or a relationship lacking mutual satisfaction often breeds frustration and disconnection. When one partner feels neglected, resentment builds and weakens intimacy over time. Or a man who recognizes this risk makes intentional efforts to meet his partner's needs, preventing emotional distance from growing. By creating balance, or he ensures that both partners remain engaged and invested in the relationship. This attentiveness fosters joy and stability, making the bond more resilient to challenges. Or, therefore, mutual satisfaction is not just desirable but necessary for avoiding resentment and maintaining long-term emotional and physical fulfillment between partners. Or mutual satisfaction also strengthens trust. When a woman knows her partner cares about her pleasure as much as his own, she feels respected and secure. Or this trust encourages her to be more open and vulnerable, which enriches their connection. Or a man who consistently prioritizes her well-being builds a reputation for reliability and care. This assurance keeps intimacy joyful and stress-free. Or trust becomes the foundation that allows intimacy to flourish without fear or doubt. Therefore, or mutual satisfaction enhances trust by showing both partners that they can depend on one another for love and respect. Beyond intimacy, or mutual satisfaction creates positive effects in other aspects of life. Couples who feel fulfilled together often experience less conflict and greater teamwork. Or satisfaction reduces jealousy, builds loyalty, and motivates both individuals to invest more effort in their shared future. This balance spills into daily interactions, or making them kinder and more cooperative. When intimacy is balanced, it uplifts the overall quality of life within the relationship. Therefore, or mutual satisfaction is not confined to the bedroom but strengthens every dimension of a couple's partnership, creating unity and long-lasting harmony in their journey. Or mutual satisfaction also empowers both partners to grow individually. When a man supports his partner's happiness, she feels more confident in expressing herself, or this encouragement creates an environment where both individuals pursue personal growth while still nurturing the relationship. Each partner benefits from the other's support, or which deepens respect and admiration. The relationship then becomes a place of growth rather than limitation. Or this balance ensures that intimacy evolves alongside their individual journeys. Therefore, or mutual satisfaction empowers couples to thrive together while still valuing one another's personal development and happiness. Or shared satisfaction helps maintain long-term passion in relationships. While initial attraction may fade, prioritizing each other's happiness keeps the spark alive. Or a man who consistently invests in his partner's pleasure keeps intimacy exciting and rewarding. Or this commitment prevents monotony and ensures that both partners continue looking forward to moments together. Or renewed energy and enthusiasm sustain their bond despite life's challenges. Therefore, mutual satisfaction becomes the secret to preserving passion over time, or proving that genuine effort and care are the foundations of lasting attraction and deep emotional and physical connection in relationships. Or mutual satisfaction requires empathy and attentiveness. A man who pays attention to his partner's needs without judgment fosters compassion and warmth. Or by stepping into her perspective, he shows emotional intelligence that makes intimacy more meaningful. Or this empathy reassures her that her happiness matters and motivates her to reciprocate. In turn, both partners experience deeper fulfillment, creating a cycle of love and care. Or mutual satisfaction thus depends on small acts of kindness that reinforce affection daily. Therefore, or empathy and attentiveness are essential qualities that transform intimacy into an ongoing source of joy and connection. In conclusion, or mutual satisfaction is the cornerstone of strong, enduring relationships. It creates balance, builds trust, enhances communication, and preserves passion over time. Or a man who values his partner's happiness alongside his own demonstrates respect, empathy, and genuine love. Or this approach not only strengthens intimacy but also enriches every other part of the relationship, from daily interactions to long-term goals. Or mutual satisfaction ensures that both partners feel valued, supported, and cherished. Therefore, relationships built on mutual fulfillment thrive with loyalty, harmony, or an enduring connection that withstands the test of time.